Good morning, my dear students. In today's live class, we were studied about the commercial use of certain microbes and also the medicinal uses. So, in that commercial use, yeast is a microorganism that can be used for the commercial production of alcohol, acetic acid, then beers, wine, etc. Okay, yeast, which is a fungus that can be used for the commercial production of this kind of things by a process called fermentation. And in that this yeast is allowed to grow in a medium that contains sugar. The substances like wheat, barley, rice, the fruit juices will contain natural sugar, and yeast is allowed to grow in that sugar containing medium. So when the yeast is grown in that, the yeast will convert the sugar into alcohol, and that process is termed as fermentation. The process of conversion of sugars into alcohol by the action of microorganisms like fungi is termed as fermentation. Okay, and there are certain bacteria that can be used for the production of tea, coffee and tobacco, and certain other bacteria are also used for the production of substances like acids, acetic acid, lactic acid, citric acids commercially. And there is an activity which is mentioned in your textbook to observe the formation of alcohol by yeast. I'll just read that. Things needed are sugar, warm water, yeast and a beaker. Take 500 ml beaker, then fill it 3/4 with warm water. Dissolve 2 to 3 teaspoonful of sugar and in it, and add a half teaspoon of yeast powder in it. And cover the beaker and allow the mixture of sugar solution and yeast powder to stand in a warm place for 4 to 5 hours. Now smell the solution. So we can smell the solution like in an alcohol. So we can find the characteristic smell of a alcohol in that solution, which is formed by fermentation. So by the action of the yeast which is added to that solution, the sugar is converted to alcohol, and when we smell that, we can detect the presence of alcohol. And this activity you can done in your home itself. And the next one is the medicinal use. The medicinal uses of microorganism. First thing is, for the production of antibiotics, certain microorganisms are used. We know that when we fall ill, the doctor will prescribe certain antibiotics, and these antibiotics are also prepared by using the microorganisms. So the medicines that are produced by microorganisms like fungi and bacteria that used to kill or stop the growth of microorganisms present in our body is termed as antibiotics. Okay, so antibiotics acts upon the harmful microorganism present in our body, and antibiotics are also prepared from the microbes itself. And there are 3 commonly used antibiotics which is mentioned in your textbook: streptomycin, tetracycline and erythromycin. These are the 3 most commonly used antibiotics. And the first discovered antibiotic is penicillin, and which was discovered from the yeast, from the microorganism or fungi called Penicillium notatum. It is a fungi, and penicillin is obtained from that fungi, Penicillium notatum. Okay, and there are certain cases in which these antibiotics are mixed with the feed of livestock and poultry farm because it can easily identify the diseases, if any, present in the body of animals. So it is mixed with the feed of livestock. That's all about the production of antibiotics. And when we take the antibiotics, certain precautions must be taken. We must taken care of when we take a antibiotic. So first one is antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of a qualified doctor. Only when the doctor prescribed an antibiotic we should take that. Otherwise, don't take the antibiotic unnecessarily. And we must complete the entire course of antibiotic prescribed by the doctor. This completely destroys the disease-causing microorganism in our body. We may fall ill if we do not complete the course. We know that the microorganism present in our body must be completely removed or destroyed. So we should complete the dose of antibiotic or complete the course of antibiotic as directed by the doctor. And we should not take antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses. When there is no need of an antibiotic, we should not take that. And in wrong doses, the exact dose of antibiotic must be taken for particular disease. Otherwise, it will cause negative impact on our body. It may make antibiotic drug less effective when we might really need it in future. And antibiotics taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in our body. We know that there are certain bacteria that are beneficial to our body, like the bacteria present in stomach, then the bacteria present in our mouth. Like that, there are certain beneficial bacteria present in our body. So when we do not taken care of while we are taking an antibiotic unnecessarily, it will causes damage to that beneficial bacteria. Okay, and antibiotics should not be taken when we are suffering from cold and flu, because these two diseases are viral diseases. So antibiotics did not have effect on such kind of diseases. Okay, so that's about the precautions while we are taking the antibiotic. And the next thing is production of vaccines. We know that certain vaccines are also can be prepared by using microorganisms. Microorganisms can enhance our immunity as a vaccine. The ability of one's body to resist against a disease is termed as immunity. So in order to enhance the immunity, the vaccines are used, and these vaccines are also prepared by using a microorganism. And what is vaccination? It is a technique. The immunity against a particular disease can be developed by a technique called vaccination. And there is a definition which is given as given in your textbook for vaccine. That is very important. A small dose of dead and weakened disease-causing microbes used to stimulate immune response in the body is called as vaccine. What is a vaccine? It is a small dose of dead or weakened disease-causing microbes need to stimulate the immune response in our body, and that is termed as vaccines. So that's all about today's live class. These are the things that we have covered: the commercial use of microbes, the medicinal use of microbes, in that the production of antibiotics and the production of vaccines. I hope all of you understood this. Thank you.